Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GameStar TV, and we're back with the Blizzard ANZ Season 4 qualifiers. It's week number 3. We're officially over the halfway mark. This is it. We're into the second half of the season already. Can you believe how quickly this season has gone? Well, I certainly can't, and I've been here for every night of the matches, so it's been terrific. It's been exciting, and I tell you what, as long as it's been too long since we've had the man to my, I don't know what side that is. I think it's my left. My left, Daddy Disco and Kerr. Good evening, Disco, and welcome to GameStar TV once again.
Hey, Crisis, thank you very much for the introductions and the lovely words. I have to say, it's I'm so excited for week 3. I missed out last week, so I'm just hankering for some really good casting, HOTS action. So let's just get into it.
Yeah, it should be awesome. And over on Daddy Disco and Kerr's left, and under strict instructions not to move at all by his doctor, we have GL Phoenix, and he's going to be joining us as the analyst. Good evening, GL Phoenix.
Good evening, Crisis. Always a pleasure to be here, and yeah, I'd like to say it was a doctor's ordered thing that I'm not allowed to move, but unfortunately it's just Australian internet ordered that I'm not allowed to move, but yeah. I'm still ready to get into it.
It's Dr. NBN is all we'll say, who's operating in absentia. Okay, so we're going to get straight into our first match, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're going to be having, and there it goes. It's going to be Milkshake versus the Midnights. Take it away, Disco.
All right, so we're loading up. You all know the map. It is Warhead Junction, the biggest map in the Heroes of the Storm scene. And GL, what is it that we always love, or maybe hate, about Warhead Junction?
Well, I think what you're alluding to right now is going to be those globals that we do tend to see quite a bit on a map like Warhead Junction. Things like the Falstad, things like the Dahaka, things where you can play around that very large map, as you said.
That's it. Look at early ban with the Oreo, removing the Oreo, very strong healer at the moment. Obviously really good for if the enemy team is looking to run something a little bit, let's say, dive heavy, because obviously if a hero goes in, she can pop her Argent shield. I mean, she can pop up really anyone, to be honest, and protect them out, but particularly in those dive compositions. A lot of the time we do actually on Warhead Junction, talking about globals, Illidan being a really early pick up for either side, either so like a ban or a pickup, because he does have like a fake global out, and he's also pretty good solo, pretty good laner by himself.
Yeah, he does all right on his own. He can get a little bit bullied by certain matchups, but he is a very strong pickup. But it looks like the bans are going to go towards this, what we've come to see as kind of the standard for the first two bans of those double supports of the Tassar and the Oriole. They're just a little bit too strong right now, and you don't want to give any of those up. Sure, it does leave globals open for both teams to pick up, but those supports are really obnoxious, and that does leave the Uther available.
Yeah, and it's so risky picking up like, say, if you did go the global right now, you could choke yourself out of having a decent support. Exactly. We see on the side they have picked up Uther, good solid support. He's really going to help. Maybe a composition, but maybe they could get Illidan from this, or some sort of other dive character. I really want to see that go in that direction. But the enemy team are picking up Greymane in reverse.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up Rhaegar alongside this, because what we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks is that Uther, Oriole, and Tassadar are kind of the top tier when it comes to the supports. Rhaegar is very quickly jumping up in those tiers because of a lot of the support choking, but it is going to be that global, it is going to be the Dahaka, so they want to pretty much dictate the pace of the rotations on this very large map.
Yeah, and we've talked about Dahaka before in many planes or many fields. He's got a really strong global game. It's just really good, and the way he can support his team in those fights, and particularly Warhead Junction, because of its size and the objective. So for those who don't know the objective of this map, we have 4 nuclear silos basically open up on the field where your team can go and collect nuclear warheads. Wow, who would have thought? And the ability to, and multiple spawn, so the ability to be able to engage on multiple fronts is really important on this map. And Dahaka gives you an option to do that. He can literally pick up a nuke himself, defend the nuke, or pick up and then rotate down to another lane or another situation. Makes him really strong, like all global heroes, really. But his
Yeah.
warrior nature, GL, is what makes him just that little bit stronger in that rotation.
Absolutely, and real interesting rotation coming out from the side of the Midnights, picking up the Xayah and the Lunara. So it seems like they're putting a lot of priority into that assassin pick and still leaving quite a few on the board. There's the other global in the Falstad that we sometimes see has fallen off a little bit outside of a few kind of specialist Falstad specialists like Jim Jammin that we've been seeing lately, but he kind of fell off a bit, and it's a bit interesting that the Midnights aren't going towards any kind of global just yet. They could go towards it in their second rotation, but we'll just have to wait and see as we get through this the next round of bans.
I do really like the Lunara pickup now. Lunara herself has always been a bit of a mid to high character, right? She has her moments of glory, but then she kind of gets snuffed out. What I really looking forward to here is that, they're looking at, well, what if they take something like a variant? What if the enemy team, they've already got a grey main, but what if they take another hero that kind of fits that sort of dive role, or fits that heavy engagement role, or has some trick to escape? Let's say they're shields of her own. By picking up the Lunara, able to poison the target. At later games, she scales really highly. She does a lot of damage, and against shielded targets or against targets with evasion or protection or something like that, the poison still persists through most of the time. So she can still affect them at the end of the day, and she still gets her damage because of her based off her scaling. So she's a really good hero in that regards. But they're also taking Zarya to try and choke out the amount of shielding the enemy team can take. So I really like that play by the Midnights right now. I think it's a really cool composition. Very pokey, however. So it's poke against dive from what I can tell at the moment.
Yeah, now with that Rhaegar taken off the board, there's not too many healers that can really deal with the pure damage output of a late game Lunara. As you said, she does put out a lot of poison damage, and it scales incredibly well once we get towards the late game. It's super obnoxious to deal with, and there are very few healers who can actually consistently heal just to keep the rest of the team alive. And if the Lunara is able to spread it to so many members, well, they're all going to drop very low.
Oh, indeed. So Arthas has been removed. Rhaegar has been removed. We just commented on that. The other team, they've gone into a bit of a dive composition here, the Milkshake lads. So I think they really need to look at supporting that line. Oh, Garrosh. Locked in.
This is... Yeah, this one's a real spicy one. The Malthael, the Garrosh. We've got some really interesting picks coming out for Milkshake, and all we have left for them is their support. But just looking at that lineup so far, as you mentioned, they want to go forward and they want to just slam some heads together.
It's got a really interesting dive concept here. They can kind of dive onto a target, and if it kind of manages to look like it's going to get away, they can use Garrosh to sort of like throw him back into the back line. So Lost Vikings, I've seen Lost Vikings played on this map quite a few times. It does offer pretty good value. Looking at their lineup, though, they're entrusting a lot of damage to come from Lunara. Sorry, against this very, very high dive comp, the Greymane, the Mountfuel, the Dahaka for rotation. So they're obviously looking to get a lead, the Midnights. If they can't get an early game lead with the advantage of the Lost Vikings, they're just going to get shredded by Milkshakes towards a later date. However, the Lost Vikings, they can pick up those sexy little nukes.
Absolutely. Each of the Viking can pick up a nuke themselves, and I believe what we're going to be seeing out of the Midnights is a 4-stack towards one lane, having the Uther, the Xayah, the Lunara, and the Johanna just barreling down a single lane, while the Vikings deal with the pressure, deal with XP gain all around the rest of the map, and try and at least mitigate some of the pushing pressure coming out of the side of Milkshake. We've seen it on other maps. We've seen it most notably on Cursed Hollow, but seeing it here on Warhead Junction, it kind of functions in a very similar fashion. You've got a boss on both sides, on the top and the bottom. So if you push down either the top or the bottom, get all the way through, and then you take that boss, you're pushing directly onto a core, and it's very, very hard to deal with for quite a lot of compositions. So I believe that is what we're going to be seeing out of Midnights for this game.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with it there. I mean, to be honest, that's the only thing they can do, right? Because they've sort of got the Viking in that regard. The one thing that kind of concerns me in their composition is how well they can kind of clean the lanes. I mean, yeah, the Vikings can soak them, but can they really, clean them up? And the lane that has Johanna in it's going to be fine. Zarya and Johanna's going to be fine. But what about the other two lanes? They're going to potentially be overrun. But Milkshake has to respond.
Yeah, exactly. Milkshake have to respond to the potential force that coming out of the Midnights. They don't need to worry, or Midnights don't necessarily need to worry about the other lanes. Yes, they might lose a couple of towers here and there, but the Vikings should be able to at least equalize some of the pressure, at least absorb some of the pressure.
Yeah.
But we are getting into a game, and this is the first game of the night. It is going to be Milkshake up against the Midnights, and it is the
10 seconds.
Milkshake lads on the blue side with the Ratzer on Mirage, Azog the Cat on Garrosh, the Deceptive Smurf on Greymane, Crazy Dave on Dahaka, and Magic No is on Malthael.
All right, and the gates have been released. The Midnights are running onto the stage. It's Burnsy and Sagara. We got that Chucky there playing on Uther. We got Cryptic on Johanna, and we got I'm just calling Mario on the Lost Vikings. And of course, we got Sandstorm on our Lunara. And look at this big, heavy aggression in the bottom lane. All 4 members. We knew this was kind of the plan. However, do you think that Morales and Greymane are going to be enough to defend against this early lane push? All right. Maybe we've lost GL.
I believe I'm back. I think I was just dealing with a little bit of a lag issue. But
That's
just going back to your question about the Morales and the Greymane, they can kind of hold it, but they're going to have a bit of a tough time. They do need the Garrosh there, or at least some more members to at least fight back.
And the Garrosh, he has rotated down to the bottom lane now. I'm waiting to see a big throw behind his team's gates. He's trying to get the upheaval out. I love it. I mean, you know what? It's probably something we didn't really highlight too much is Garrosh being on the map. He kind of creates a way to defend this lane with reduced heroes because he can grab an enemy hero and put them into a position that they might not be able to escape from. Yeah. All right, here we go. Malfield's come down, he's rotated down, he's going in. Upheaval grabs 3 members, one's a Viking, but it doesn't matter. Lunara's in a bit of trouble, she is punished. Burnsy finds himself separated in the back line. Will the Smurf find him? Yes, he will. Rats is going to follow up. Sepsis Smurf, Agrog the Cat, throws him for a bit of fun. And that is a massive... Oh, he gets 3 and a bit wiped down in the bottom lane. What early engagement.
That is a massive start for Milkshake. As we're saying, in the draft, they had to try and fight back against this very solid 4-man push. But as we saw, the rotation down from Azog and then the rotation down from Magic Gnome on that Malthael, they were able to catch out the members of the Midnights, just overextending a little bit too much, not giving the respect to their opponents as they are going to flip in Chucky yet again.
Oh, Garrosh. Oh, he's loving it. Gary's going to get in. Oh, the nuke actually probably going to finish him off. So he's not going to be able to escape from that. Doesn't matter. He does get killed through the wall anyway.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is a great start. They did not go for that middle nuke thanks to Markio on those Lost Vikings, with Eric just being a big nuisance, not allowing that Malthael to grab that at any opportunity. So even though it was nice that Midnights were able to grab that, but they are going to just keep on applying pressure on the bottom side.
Lunara! This Agzog, the Cat, I mean, that Gary play right now is being really phenomenal. And this is something that's saying about Garrosh. The early game, he is a really, he's super strong pick because he can grab the enemy heroes and put them in a position where he secure the kill for his team. That's really awesome there.
Absolutely. And one thing that we've been noticing is that although I was kind of expecting a massive 4-man stack to be shoving the hell out of this bottom lane, it seems to be reversed and now that there's an experience lead over to the side of Milkshake, they're the ones with this solid push on the bottom lane, and it's up to Midnights to try and come back.
Yeah, this is one of the issues that we see a lot, Gio, with the Lost Vikings, is that if you don't get the experience lead with them, you've lost that really big damaging body in a fight. What's their game plan now? What's their game plan to come back in this, do you think?
Well, it seems like they're doing what they need to be doing, and that is just being very stubborn in this playstyle and just shoving as that 4-man. They know they're not going to be able to split around the map and try and play that kind of game, because they still have the Vikings. They can still at least soak some experience. Sure, they're going to be losing out quite a bit over the course of these fights, but as we do see some of the Vikings dropping there, but we are seeing the Midnights at least pick up some experience. They are going to pick up this fort on the bottom side. They are going to lose their own, but when it comes to just trading, they have to. That's all they're relegated to at this point, because they've been put behind so far so early.
Yeah, I mean, level 10 is fast approaching for for Milkshake. They're on the Gahara said on the back foot. I'm not even 100% sure exactly what we should be highlighting. It's kind of like the game that Milkshake should be playing. Is like the game that Milkshake's playing is actually the game that the Midnights should be playing.
Exactly, as I was saying before, we were expecting the massive shove coming out of the Midnights, that massive 4-stack, and making it really hard for Milkshake to kind of answer back. But as you mentioned, it's put on the other foot.
This could be a good moment at the moment. The red team's gone in. It is Midnight. They're trying to end the dreams and darkness of the blue team. Deceptive Smurf is taking a lot of damage. He does slightly escape out. He's turned in, trying to do damage. Lenara's in a bad spot. Malphina's on the back line. He's about to take her out. Still saying just alive, but once she falls, there is no hope for the Midnight. Zyre is out. Lenara is out. There is no damage on the table, GL. It is midnight for these Midnights.
Absolutely, and it was a bit of a risky play from the Midnights to try and make something happen when they were down so far, and also with heroics coming up for Milkshake, and that's what we saw. We saw Magic Gnome on that Mouth Hill pop in towards the end with those Tormented Souls and absolutely shred the lineup of the Midnights, and it was not looking too great, and after that it's looking much worse for the Midnights. We are going to get this boss on the top side over to the side of Milkshake. They should be able to pick up at least a couple of the nukes. They only have one, but I'm sure they're fine with the boss, at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful trade, right? You're getting all those kills. Not only is Moorhead Junction just a huge map that it gives you the opportunity. Oh, hang on. I wonder if Deceptive Smurf is going to be relaxed or controlled in discipline. He didn't try and dive in. Beautiful play there. Beautiful, well, let's say lack of play.
More composed, more...
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're starting to see, it looks like we're going to have Milkshake moving to the bottom side. They have the pressure of that boss on the top side, so this is just giving them all the time in the world. It's very, as I was saying during the draft, it's very Cursed Hollow-esque, where you take one boss and use that pressure to take the other one, and just keep on forcing your opponents to play a very reactionary game. And when you're playing just to react to your opponents, you know you're in a bad spot.
And it's such a big map as well, There's the possibility, not only take the first boss, you're right, rotate, get the second boss, but once you picked up the second boss, you can go to another lane, you can push with it, and there's so much physical space that by the time the team reacts, you're already doing 2 or 3 things. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it shows right now. So they're pushing up with the boss. They are getting to the fortifications. Level 13 is in fast approach for Milkshake. We see the Midnights have hit level 10, but the fight's breaking out. Big throw comes down. Verzi's in the middle of it, but that's because Garrosh put him there, and he is rapidly declining in health. He is dropped. There's a nuke left on the ground that he picked up. The nuke is firing down for Milkshake. Is this going to be a chocolate? Is this going to be vanilla? I don't know, but it's Chucky that's in there. Next we got Crypto, who's going to fall. Thrown again into the blender of doom. That is right now 3 members, and not one of them is a Viking, so it is old value time. Eric finally falls. But I think this might be curtains for the Midnight team. Level 13 on the core. 3 and a bit members down.
They still have the half HP boss, and as you said, this could very well be it. They want even more kills. Burns is thrown into the thing, but yet again.
Get inside the blender, Burnsy. We're having a Burnsy flavored Milkshake tonight. Cryptic going there, desperately defending the core, but it's not enough. GG goes out. That is game 1. And we see Midnights falling to the Milkshakes.
Wow, what an incredible start to the night. I mean, it looked very good at that start. The early levels, Midnights had the right idea. They had their draft. They had their plan. They knew what they wanted to do, but Milkshake, they were not letting them have any of that. And when it started to go down, the Midnights really just crumbled. And you really got to give it to Azog the Cat on that garage. He was picking out targets and he was not making their life a very fun place.
It's just a composition that I think Midnights were running. So the Lost Vikings is always a real risky pick, and I think if they were doing that and they wanted to hit a lane hard, they needed to think. Obviously they banned out. I'm trying to remember who they banned out. Can't remember. The fact of the matter is that they needed to ban out someone like Garrosh that might be counterproductive to their strat.
But the thing is that Garrosh is still new, and we haven't really seen enough of that kind of draft into a Garrosh to get enough of an idea. So
I was about to say you might not have GL, but obviously Milkshake's had. All right, so look, let's quickly do an MVP for the match. Who is your MVP for this match? If I don't,
I think I already gave it away a little bit. As you mentioned, Garrosh was doing so much work. As you mentioned, he kind of disincentivized that very heavy pushing strategy, and a lot of it was on the back of Azog the Cat's play. So my MVP has to go towards to him.
I'm going to have to do 100% exactly the same. I think if it was any other warrior, we might have a different game, but not Garrosh, the war chief, or the old war chief, I guess. A war chief. Garrosh, Azur the Cat, you are the MVP, good sir, of that match.
Alrighty,
but anyway, guys, we're just waiting for the next set of games to finish, because that was pretty early. That was pretty fast.
That was a pretty quick game, so we'll probably go to at least a 5-minute break, and then we'll see how the rest of the games have been going. So don't go anywhere. This is the GameStar Season 4 qualifiers for Heroes of the Storm.
Hey guys, just before we go to that break, just a reminder, we've got a raffle going. Tonight we're giving away 2 Stukov Hero bundles. So make sure you enter GS HOTS with an exclamation mark at the front of it into Twitch chat to get in there. And tonight's going to be interesting because we have a issue with our new bot where he seems to be favoring certain people. I'm sure it is a he because, there's real nepotism going on. And, So, look, get your entries in there and hopefully we'll actually get some random draws tonight, and we'll be able to give away those 2 Stukov codes. We'll give away one after the second game, so the next game after this one, and then another one after the 4th game, and potentially, if we do go to another tiebreaker, we'll do a loot chest code after the tiebreaker, just to say thank you to everybody for sticking around for 5 full games instead of 4. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, right after this.